Hi there, and welcome back to part 2 of Dispatch and Daggerheart. If you missed the first part, it's on the channel and it has the name of the thing that I just said. Today we're continuing with the roster, and we're going to be covering characters who have similar builds, although they're played very differently. But before I get to that, my usual intro. Hi there, I'm your creature substitute teacher VTuber, Scald. Nice to have you back. So, we're getting right into it today. And today we're starting with the two elemental characters. We have Flambae and Waterboy. It might seem weird that these two would have a similar, if not identical, build. After all, you have the character who is the hot one, and you have the character who is literally Waterboy me Bob. However, in Daggerheart, a game that allows you to and encourages you to flavor things as much as you like, they do have a world of difference in their playstyle. For both of them, we'll be using the Elemental Origin Sorcerer. This will allow us to do two things. One of them is we get a harmless elemental effect that we're able to use kind of whenever we want. We pick the element when we make the character, and it's kind of obvious what element we're going to be picking for each of them. This allows us to do small little Avatar-esque power over element things, like a little cantrip. This allows you to control both the fire and the flame, which apparently there's a difference that I was not aware of. Dante Bosco would be so disappointed in me. On top of that, it also allows us to spend a resource to add an elemental effect to one of our actions. This allows us to, if we can explain to the DM how it's helpful, add an elemental effect to our action, our attack, our move, what have you, and either boost its chance of success or its damage. If you want a decent example of what that would look like, without spoiling anything, just remember the end fight with Waterboy, how he uses water to do an amazing off-the-top rope body slam. I don't know anything about wrestling. I think that's the right term to call it. The only thing I know about wrestling is there's something called a top rope, which you come off of to hit people from above. Whenever you elbow drop someone, you're supposed to tap your elbow twice before you come down on them. And apparently, John Cena has powers of invisibility. But back on topic. Can you tell I have attention issues? Me, my folks, people who live around me, and every teacher I've ever had also could. Anyway. Having access to a little elemental flair whenever we need is a great way to help build out the character, both in combat and in RP moments, which is always just fun to always have that kind of in your pocket that you can use. For our cards, we are going rather combat focused. We have Unleash Chaos, which allows us to have a set number of resources we can spend to do pretty reliable damage, and we get to determine how much of that we use as we use it, and also kind of refill it for a resource over time. And we also have Rain of Blades, which seems like a really odd choice since neither of them are known for raining blades anywhere. However, in Daggerheart, we're not dealing with cold damage or fire damage or lightning damage or any of that. We have physical damage, and we have magical damage. This means, as long as your DM's okay with it, there's nothing really stopping you from flavoring a magical attack, which is usually, a fan of blades in front of you, into, say, a gout of fire, or high-pressured water in a cone, or a sprinkler. And I'm just imagining Waterboy on someone's front yard during a drought being like, "Don't worry guys, I'm helping," and they're just like, sprinkler. They're like, tick, 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 like, tick. Wait, I have an avatar. Why am I like? I don't know if this is making it into the video. Is this good content? Starts them off with leather armor, which Flambae would be thrilled about, and hand runes for those elemental blasts, or spits, which I don't like the mental image of, but you know what I mean. And that's all you need. One build, two characters. You can put other points into, say, strength for Flambae, or presence for Waterboy. Because I know, in my soul, that boy's got charisma. He hasn't unlocked it yet, but I know it's there. He's just at a low level. Just like, believe in him. Keep training him. He'll get there in time. I have no doubt about it. Next up, ooh baby, this is what you've been waiting for. This is what it's all about. We have Sonar. A guy who's known for his brains, which got him into a university which is possibly copywritten, and then never shutting up about getting to that university that's possibly copywritten. However, he's also equally known for, and I quote, turn to a giant bat that will eat you ass first. Kinky. When I hear a character that can transform and alter stats, first thing I think about is Druid. Because I play a lot of tabletop RPGs, and that's where my brain goes. In Daggerheart, you're not so much transforming entirely. You're not giving up your stats for a completely different stat block. Instead, you pick a form that allows you to augment your abilities. So you're picking essentially bonuses you would like to your stats, as well as some natural weapons and other abilities to go along with it. For this, you can pick Warden of the Elements Druid, and the element that you'll pick to go along with it should be, let's say, air. This allows you to hover and be a bit more agile. This will allow you to, in downtime sessions or just more social interactions, just kind of hang out, talk, put points into knowledge, and generally be a face for the party. But when you get to combat, you can always just freak out and go full Batman on him. Or I guess it would be Man-Bat. Anyway, take Nature's Tongue, because he does mention that he has friends that are bats, so either he just loves bats and likes to chill with them, or we can talk to them. Either way, this will help you get along with them great. And Wall Walk, to continue to be really spooky when you need to. You can also pick a Qatari/human ancestry. Pick up claws from the Qatari that you flavor as more of a bat hybrid than a cat hybrid. And the high stamina of a human. Because he made it through college, that's a lot of stress right there. And you're all ready to go out and embezzle funds or whatever he did with money and numbers to get him in jail. Don't worry too much about your starting weapon, because your different forms will have a natural weapon to go along with them. So you can just stick with that. Next, we have the guy who usually saves my runs, Golem. Now the build for the guy who's too damn big is also going to be a Warden of Elements Druid, because in the game, he has the ability to change his stats slightly depending on where you put him in the formation. Druids also allow you to change your stats based on the situation, and it's a really good fit. And also, if you pick the Earth element, he gets higher damage thresholds, which makes him a little bit tankier, and also helps play into his whole vibe. Also, talking dispatch for a second, quick build tip: as soon as you can, get this boy training and give him spread thin. That way, any open slots you have on a mission you send him, he'll create a little copy of himself, which is adorable, yes, but will also magnify his stats for every one of those open slots. Meaning, if you build him as an all-arounder, basically make sure all his stats are about the same, about a 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you can get them up to, but make sure all his stats are the same. When you put him in an open 4-person mission, he will fill all those slots, multiply his own score, and more often than not, fill up the entire chart. I have had this boy solo so many important missions for me. Absolute game changer, love it. But anyway, back to Daggerheart, the reason why you're here. Pick up Vicious Entangle, because we see him fire mud to entangle enemies and also just stick stuff to them. As well as Rune Board, so that he can be a little tankier, to help play more into his too damn big vibe. As for Ancestry, again we can go another hybrid of Giant, taking their bonus to health, again, tanky, and Clank, for their efficiency, allowing you to take a long rest action to replace one of your short rest actions, which again is excellent for healing yourself up to full after a fight. And finally, we have Phenomaman. That's close enough. You've seen all the stories of what would happen if Superman was evil. What would happen if Superman had one bad day? This is a version of the story where Superman gets clinical depression, and we all feel for him. Now, as ironic as it is, his build is actually very similar to Blonde Blazer, if not almost identical. They're both characters that focus on strength, flight, and being very difficult to take down. The only change I would recommend is replacing, say, Bolt Beacon with Not Good Enough. Not only does this up your base damage, kind of playing more into the whole Superman, super strong vibe, but I love giving all my depressed characters Not Good Enough because it always means two things. And that's all you need to get started. 5 builds in one video I think is the most I've ever done. Come back next week when I finish off the roster with the last few builds. Until then, let me know what type of characters and builds you'd like to see next. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Commenting really helps the algorithm, which would really help the channel, which I would really appreciate. Until next time, good luck and have fun out there.